What's going on, guys? Welcome to 310 EDU's new YouTube channel, and today we're going to talk about a specific shot, and we're specifically going to throw this specific shot with a poly. Now, a lot of you guys are out here trying to learn the turnover heel shots and the hip shots and all the fancy stuff, but we can't throw a heel trap with a poly. There's a couple of key things that we need to do when we're throwing a heel trap with a poly to increase our catch percentage and make sure the rope does its job. And there's a couple of extra things that we need to do when we're roping with a soft rope like this, and we're going to be throwing a heel trap. So traditionally speaking, most people will heel with a nylon. The reason why they heel with a nylon is because it has a lot of body. You can get the same job done with a poly. You just have to change a couple of little things to make sure that your rope stands up when you deliver it. So today, I'm going to talk about those specific things you need to do with this rope. And when you think about roping, when you think about throwing all these shots, guys, it's great to have the turnovers and the cool hip shots and all the things. You want to learn those too, but we want A before Z, if that makes sense. If you can throw the sickest turnover hip shot on earth, but you can't throw a normal heel trap with that same rope, you're kind of a little further down the road in one regard, but you're way behind on another. So we want to have our everyday working man shots dialed. We want those to be perfect before we get into the fancier stuff. So if you're a beginner, this is your beginner heel trap. This is if you want to go out and make a hand and help somebody get calves doctored or branded, you need to know how to throw this shot right here. As you can see, if I drop this rope, I'm catching nothing. Do you see that? So physically, I have to hold the poly open. And the way that you're going to get that done is you're going to do what we call splitting your spoke. So when it comes to your rope, you have your loop, right? This is my loop. This is my spoke. The other piece of the rope in my hand that leads to my coils, this is going to be my spoke. This top strand is going to be my spoke. And so how I want to get this done is when I throw my rope, I need to keep the spoke in my hand. And there's a lot of other shots you're going to do this with, but it's very, very important anytime you're throwing a trap on a standing or moving calf, period, end of story, especially with a poly. So I'll show that to you again, and then I'll kind of talk about how I get that done. So this is key number one. You have to split your spoke. Doesn't matter how big your loop is, we're going to deliver and split the spoke. Okay, and we're going to hold that loop open. So as that guy's leaving, he's going to be picking up that slack. Okay, so the way that I actually split that spoke, as I'm delivering that shot, I'm going to have the spoke or the loop strand in my fingertips. It's going to be right on the edge of my fingertips like this. And then as I let go of the shot, I'm going to end up pinching my spoke with these two fingers. Like this, and I'll try to get some slow motion footage of that, but it's going to look like this. So, and that's how I'm going to let it go. Now, as soon as I let it go, as that header's leaving, picking that slack up, I'm going to roll my thumb, right? Here we go. I'll do it like this. Maybe you can see it better. So it's going to go in, it's picking up as that header's leaving, and I see that I got feet in my loop. I'm going to roll my thumb underneath, right? And then grab it like this so I can go to the horn. You always dally with your thumb up. So it's going to look like this when I deliver, just like that. The loop's going to be right there in those fingertips. We're going to deliver, and then I'm going to just roll that thumb underneath the rope. And that way I'm holding it with my thumb up, and I can go to the saddle horn, if that makes sense. So practice those things on the dummy. Practice those things. Because the better you are at rolling that thumb under there, the more comfortable it's going to be. So on the flip side of that, if I throw a shot right here, and let's say I let go of it. I do everything the same, but then that's catching nothing. This is why a lot of people don't like heeling with a poly, because you kind of got to do a little extra. But nylons, in my opinion, and even some cottons, they'll take away some shot options for you. So I like to be able to throw hip shots and heel traps. So I've just figured out how to heel with this poly when I'm throwing a heel trap so I can have the option to do both. Plus, if it's really windy outside, they're really nice for cutting the wind. So again, here we go. It's in my fingertips. We're gonna deliver, and I'm gonna keep that spoke. As that header leaves, we're gonna roll underneath, pick up, and go to the horn. And all that, with enough practice, will become second nature. The second thing you have to do when you heel with a poly, and this goes for a poly or a cotton if you're throwing a heel trap, is I can swing that rope as hard as I want. I can swing it as hard as I want, but when I go to deliver, I need to slow down. You have to slow your delivery down a little bit. So you have to anticipate that as the calf's coming by you. So I can't be back here swinging this hard and then try to throw it in there, right? And so what happens is if I deliver too fast, what's gonna happen is this poly's gonna close up. Those strands, because it's a soft rope, the faster I swing it, it's gonna go in there like that. So the faster you swing it and the faster you deliver it, the loop strands are gonna come together like this, okay? And it's gonna go in like this and you're not gonna catch anything. So you want your bottom strand to kind of drag the ground a little bit, and you want that top strand to make contact with the leg, okay? And so what that does, the slowing down of your rope on delivery, is it allows the rope to open back up, right? Because the harder you swing, it's gonna close, but when you slow that delivery down, and this really goes for most shots you're gonna throw with a poly. So again, what we're gonna do is we're gonna swing as hard as we want, get into position, and then slow it way down. Oh, I hit the front leg. Got a little too close there. Try that again. We're gonna slow way down, right? And my spoke kind of rolled over, but that's okay. We still got a big open trap. So there's a couple of tips for you guys on how to throw a heel trap with a poly. It is a beautiful thing when somebody does it. You can do it with as big a loop as you want. And I see it all the time. Another small tip I'll give you is if your horse doesn't stop when you deliver a heel trap, you're usually gonna miss. So you need to be thinking stop. As soon as you deliver that trap in there, you need to be sitting down and stopping, if that makes sense. So anyways, guys, I hope this helps you out. Practice that trap. You need to have it. It is a super versatile tool. The turnovers and all the fancy shots are awesome, but if you can't just go out and get the job done, you kind of need to evaluate how versatile you are when it comes to making a hand out there working every day.